My opponent stated that GMOs have a bunch of risks and environmental effects. But what he fails to realize is that if GMOs were banned, then a lot of people would be affected. For instance, if farmers were banned from using GMOs, the money that they make from regular crops would be substantially higher than what they do make now. And with the ban of GMOs, they would have to use pesticides. And what this means is that when they use pesticides, not only are they basically putting pesticides into food, but also damaging the soil that they use it. For instance, in an article from Street 101, it states that biotechnology can be used to increase yield via pest resistance crops, according to a 2003 paper, Yield Effect of Genetic Modified Crops in Developing Countries. In this, the journal, for example, states that in Africa and Kenya, the sweet potatoes serves as an important subsistence crop, but viruses and weed builds can dramatically decrease output by up to 80%. The Kenya Agriculture Research Institute, however, has developed a GMO sweet potato that can increase crop yield by 18 to 25%. What this means is that if GMOs are banned, the yields of crops would basically be lowered, and that would be bad because it would increase hunger in many parts of these places. For example, in this one, it states that it's increasing the yield of the specific crop that is used a lot in Africa. And if it was banned, there wouldn't be this one, and they wouldn't have this source of food for them. With the use of GMO, it also helps the plant itself because they will receive less damage from herbicides and pesticides. For example, a study done on sunflowers, BT sunflowers, showed that with the use of the crops itself, they were able to protect themselves from insect pests, where these pests are common in the U.S. And they were also likely to increase the hardiness of these crops. If GMOs were banned, many of these areas in the U.S. where crops aren't able to be grown and the climates for them drastically change from time to time, many of our crops that we have in the market right now wouldn't be there. We wouldn't have, like, every season, we wouldn't have fruits that weren't even, they can't be grown in that specific season in the markets. So, for example, in an article about fighting world hunger from Better Food states that there are a lot of scientists working in improving farming in regions where food is difficult to grow by improving crops' ability to withstand natural environment factors such as heat, drought, soil toxicity, salinity, and flooding. Therefore, if GMOs were banned, many of these areas where these climates are, these climates, they wouldn't be able to grow anything there, therefore affecting our food supply. My opponent also states that the European Union has also banned GMOs, but recently there have been talk about bringing back GMOs because of the food supply in these areas. And that's it.